they are actually such a young children, they are usually under 18 or something, and that is why we believe that this kind of questions came out today to be debated because we're talking about the fate of these young children who usually watch the videos or the blog only to the blog that only has a purpose to appeal the emotion and not saying facts and not educating these children. And that is why we believe that it is actually very urgent to stand this movement because the viewers and the common readers are actually usually like young children and they are being served with uh, with with content that actually do not educate them at all. And although I am the first speaker from the African side of the house, I'm going to tell you our definition of the progressive itself. We believe that progressive bloggers and YouTubers are bloggers and YouTubers who are on the road to success. It means that they haven't succeeded yet, but they are on the road to success and they are going to be famous in a short period of time. And also, what we mean by the content that emphasize facts and statistics is the content that usually contains a lot of facts and statistics and usually can educate the viewers and also the readers as well. And also the content that use rhetoric that appeals to emotion, it means that it will not give any abstract. The real problem of this kind of content is to entertain without giving without having the purpose to educate the viewers or readers at all. And also, why we believe that this project can stand, especially on the progressive bloggers and YouTubers, because we believe that it's hard for the backlog of YouTubers or already famous YouTubers and bloggers to change their content if they have already famous. We believe that controversy and engagement have to serve the viewers and also the readers with such an educational content. Future they will also provide their viewers and their readers with this kind of educational content because what if we allow and what if the youtubers from the very beginning we are fearing that in the future they are starting even more this kind of contents and these contents will not educate their viewers at all. So we believe that the real purpose of YouTube itself is to provide information, and that is why we believe that the status quo right now is actually already misleading from the purpose of the YouTube itself, because there are a lot of contents on the YouTube itself, YouTube platforms, and also blog that actually do not give any kind of advantages towards the society. For example, there are Halilintar who only shows the contents that are actually not educational at all for the viewers, and also it can harm some it and also it can give some harms towards the viewers as well. And I will explain the harms in my argument later. But first, we as the affirmative side of the house, we want to tell you our goal. Our goal is to convince these progressive bloggers and YouTubers to create more contents that emphasize facts and statistics instead of creating contents that appeals to emotion, because we believe that it is actually more beneficial for the viewers itself and also for the blogger itself, because it will educate the viewers and it will educate the reader as well. So I as the first speaker from the affirmative side of the house, I'm going to tell you one argument, which is why it is beneficial for the society. For the society means for the viewers, if it is for blogging, and also for the for the for the for the viewers if it is for YouTubing, and also for the readers if it is for blogging. So first, I want Indonesia is left 128 years for for the educational itself, and that is why we believe that YouTube has the power to educate these Indonesian kids, because of what there are a lot of Indonesian kids that prefer to watch YouTube and also to read blog instead of trying to find learning process
Miss,
from somewhere else. And also that is why we believe that YouTube has the power and also blogging has the power to do that, and that's why we want this kind of YouTube and these two platforms to be more educational for the viewers and also for the readers itself. And we do not want to neglect the fact that there are a lot of users, there are a lot of
viewers from the YouTuber from YouTube, or from the reader from the blog itself, they are actually such a young age, and that is why we as the government team, we want to protect this kind of valuable society, which is the next generation of this nation. We want to educate them, and we want to make them more qualified into so that they can bring our nation into the better side. But first, the status quo right now is actually serving them with a lot of emotional contents that do not educate them at all. For example, like I have said before, for example, like YouTuber Atta Halilintar, who always serve the viewers with useless contents. And that is why when they are actually such a young age, it means that they are still irrational, and there's a possibility that they will follow what Atta does, and that's actually they do not have the ability to decide well, and that is why they will eventually take this kind of people who only give them useless contents as their role model, and this is actually the problem. The problem start to go, and even if the negative side of the house are going to say that for example, like YouTube, there's like the age restriction where they need to be at least 13 or something. We believe that age restriction is still not enough, because there are the fact right now there are a lot of even children under 13 that can enter and watch YouTube videos freely, and that is why we believe that we as the government team, we want to serve them with more educational contents. For example, like the educational channel that give them a lot of about like common knowledges, or anything more educational, not just to appeal their emotion, because we want the next generation of this nation to be qualified enough, and also we want them to understand, not we want them to understand the real purpose of YouTube itself is not only to entertain them, but it's also to give them information, to provide them information, and that is why it is actually very urgent to do this, because there are a lot of young generations out there that are watching a lot of useless contents itself, and that's why I, as the affirmative side of the house, strongly agree with this motion. Thank you.
The first speaker of the affirmative team spent 7 minutes and 26 seconds. 7 minutes and 26 seconds.
To begin the case of the negative, I call upon the first speaker of the negative team, Ms. Ataya Salsabila. The time is yours.
So, Judge, how do you feel if someone taking your rights and your willingness to share something that you like into platform, into the world, that you think it's actually important to share? That's what happened into this motion. When the government team of the house taking YouTubers' right to share what they want into the platform called YouTube. And here we have to know what YouTube said, what YouTube slogan here in the worldwide. YouTube said in their slogan, broadcast yourself. It means YouTube said, just do anything with YouTube. Just tell anything with YouTube. YouTube give you right to give you right to do anything with YouTube. YouTube give you a platform to say anything with YouTube. So what? So why the government of the house giving the limitation, taking the YouTubers right to tell something that really important actually to the world? And here, so before I'm jumping into my argument and why actually why we couldn't believe that we have to save the YouTubers' right to share something. I want to give some rebuttals that I have called from the affirmative team of the house. Firstly, they said that it's become a problem because kids watch emotional content from the YouTube itself. But firstly, we have to know which one is the wrong side, the kids or the YouTube. The kids is only like the little ant in a world, and YouTube is the world. So which one is the wrong side? The ant that come into near a sugar, or the sugar itself? of course, it the end itself that choosing the sugar, right? It's same like the kids and YouTube. The kids is not the YouTube is not the wrong side. It's the kids itself, because the kids has the parents. Kids has the parents that could give their advice into what kind of content that they should watch. And secondly, you have to know that YouTube now has the system, kids content system, that all kind of so the parents can control what kind of YouTube content that their kids could watch. Not all, because YouTube already know how's the status quo right here, how's the YouTube world right now. So they want to avoid, still want to save the YouTubers, right? But they still want the kids still could watch the YouTube. So they make a system that could avoid anything that unnecessary from the kids itself. Like for example, like mature content from the kids not to appear in the kids' phone, for example. So it's not the YouTube fault, but it's the kids' fault and the parents' fault actually. So, and thirdly, they only said about the emotion. They only giving the fault and blame the YouTubers that only appeal the emotion content. But what kind of emotion? Here, they didn't say what kind of emotion that appeals, and they banned here. Here, if they only say the emotion, then they here banning such as like beropini by Gita Saf. It's such a great content, right? It's such a great content that giving you something new, that giving you the not just entertainment, but the news world that happened in Germany and something like that. And if they're only saying emotion, they blame all kind of emotion and all kind of opinion here. So when they are saying they want to banning all YouTubers that only appeals the emotion, so they are also appealing or banning all YouTubers that giving opinion in their content. Because they didn't say anything about what kind of emotion here. They only say Atta Halilintar, right? And about Atta Halilintar, they assuming that Atta Halilintar doesn't give anything important or doesn't give anything that necessary to millennial generation. But let's see, Atta Halilintar is success person, right? And they giving motivation to others to become successful as how he is right now. We couldn't see Atta Halilintar from just a negative way, but we could see Atta Halilintar at how success he is right now, at how hard worker he is right now, and that's motivate many children and many children and many millennial generation right now. So we have to underline that topic. So let's move on to. So I'm standing here as the first speaker from the negative team of the house. I already tell you the rebuttals, and we'll give you some point of why we are not believing this motion. And my second speaker will characteristic the YouTubers that already taking the rights from the government. And my second speaker and my third speaker will tell you the conclusion from this debate and giving you the clash point of this debate. So firstly, I want to tell you the status quo and how the status quo right here in the world, that that progressive YouTubers could be a successful YouTubers if they fulfill what the society needs. And what society needs, not only just data, not only just a fact, but also fulfill their opinion, like such as like they want to see how's other opinion about presidential debate, for example. They are looking it for in the YouTube, right? If you are looking for only data and statistics, you are not looking it for in the YouTube. You will looking it at kompas.com, you will looking it at detik.com, such as like that, not in YouTube. Because YouTube purpose here actually is broadcast yourself, telling what you want to see in the world, not tell what the educational thing to the world. And secondly, why we are believing that actually we couldn't agree in this motion, because if they are saying it's giving bad impact to the children, of course it already rebut first that YouTube already giving the system that could avoid all the mature content and that unnecessary content that picking by the parents in the YouTube, and they just only watch like such as cartoon and children's song and folk songs such as like that, and it picked by the parents. So what the affirmative team of the house will read about is already created and having the solution by the YouTube itself. So, And secondly, we have to save the right of the YouTubers here. If you already taking the right of the YouTubers, and then it will come into a harsh and a bad world, because it starts from the YouTube. The YouTube is one of the platform where there is nothing could avoid you or could taken you away from this world. And the only thing that could give you could a platform to giving a critical thinking into the world, where for example like newspaper newspaper or news portal is already taken away by the government, but YouTube giving you a platform to say all you want to say, about the world, and telling what the critical thinking that you have into the world. So when you are saying that YouTube is just giving bad impact, it's not giving you bad impact. You have to see it from the two sides. That's all from me. Thank you. I close my case.
The first speaker of the negative team spent 7 minutes and 28 seconds. 7 minutes and 28 seconds.
I call upon the second speaker of the affirmative team, Miss Malu Alina. The time is yours.
Judges, my first speaker has already stated and explained why YouTube that's only fueled by the emotion or fueled by emotion is creating bad impacts for the society, especially the young generation. Especially the young generation. So that is why we as the affirmative team, we want to explain that we want to balance the YouTubers and bloggers, that they can emphasize the facts and statistics, but they can also give their emotion by including it to the content. But before going to my arguments, I would like to give some rebuttals that I've got from the opposition team. I have 4 points rebuttals here. The first is, they say that we as the affirmative team here, we're not giving the right to the YouTubers or bloggers. So it means that they are they are saying that it is more important to save the right of the YouTubers rather than saving the young generation. It means that if we letting the YouTubers creating a content that is not educated, it means that we are giving a non-educated content to our society. And this is why we're saying that the fate of our generation is more important than saving the right of the YouTubers or the bloggers. And the second point of the rebuttals is, they say that we are blaming the YouTubers that full of emotion contents and doesn't support the YouTubers that giving of emotion contents. My first speaker has already stated that we are not blaming or we are not supporting the YouTubers that give emotional contents, but we want to create a balance where the YouTubers can also share the contents, but in that contents also mixed with the facts and the statistics that is educated to the society. And I will explain it further in my arguments. And also the third rebuttal is, they say that we can take an example of Atta Halilintar. He is successful, and he is successful just by giving non-educated contents. And they say that Atta can give motivation to the young generation, especially to be success as he's doing. But we know that Atta has a lot of viewers that is under 18 years old. And judge, can you think that children that is 9-year old taking this as a motivation that they're gonna be success? Can you think that children under 18 years old will take this as a just to make them fun or whatever is that, but they will not take it as a motivation. And for example, like Atta has a lot of contents that just like a prank or whatever is that, or unboxing. And if the children under 18 years old or children in their age of 9 watching that, it making them like, Mom, I want to buy like Atta like Atta bought. I want to buy the shoes. I want to blah blah blah. And it is creating bad impacts for for the children.
Do I miss?
No, thanks. And jumping to my arguments, the first is I will explain to you why is quality is better than quantity. So we here as the affirmative team, we are not neglected that society nowadays is more interested in YouTube contents that full of emotion rather than YouTube contents that full of facts and statistics. And also and but it is the urgency that we're talking right now that we really want to increase the quality of YouTubers that emphasizing or giving the facts and the statistics on their YouTube content, because as I said before, it is giving a good impact to the society. And also, I will compare to you what is the YouTuber's content that full of emotional content, and also the YouTuber's content that full of fact and statistics content. The first is the YouTubers that giving emotional content, such as like Dari or atau. They're just giving unboxing content or prank or whatever is that is not educated for the society, especially the young generation.
Miss,
Yes.
you said that society are more interested to YouTube that is full with entertainment. So can you guarantee that YouTube will be as interested as it is if it is being full with education rather than entertainment?
So it is the so it by there are a lot of YouTube contents that full of emotion. It means that it gives the motivation for the YouTubers that emphasizing fact and statistics, that they will bring their content into a more creative way, that they can compete with the YouTubers they not giving the educated content. It means that we are surviving the rights. We are surviving the rights that the YouTubers that giving more educational thing, that they can give a good impacts to the society. And also back to my arguments, the YouTube that full of emotional content, it is not educated and they're full of drama where they are arguing in that content, and we can say that it is not beneficial at all, especially for the young generation that we are saving right now, judges. And also, comparing it to the YouTubers that emphasizing the facts and statistic contents, they are giving the fact and statistic that happening right now, and it is educated. Why I'm saying that this is educated? For example, like there are YouTubers in Indonesia named Korea Rumit, where he is giving a hot news or hot fact that is really giving an education. Like the education I mean here is that what happening right now in the world and how the psychology affects on it. It really give the education for the society. And also like the social experiment, it include in the statistic contents where the YouTubers helping the poor in the street, and it is just awaken the mind of the young generation who is watching it, that our country is not as better as we think. Our country, we need to save our country by watching that social experiment. And it is part of the education that we really want this content is to be more given attention by the society by making the YouTubers that create more fact and statistic contents. And also the stakeholders for the society, we want to save the fate of our young generation by telling them that they should watch the YouTube that full of facts and statistics. And for that, I close my case. Thanks.
The second speaker of the affirmative team spent 7 minutes and 27 seconds. 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
I call upon the second speaker of the negative team, Ms. Raihan Atia Putri. The time is yours.
Tes.
Judge, before I'm telling you guys about my argument, which is the answer, the burden of proof that we find from this motion, I'll find two kind of burden of proofs as the opposite side of the house. First of all, why is it important to stand as the negative side of the house? And also the second of all is about why is it true that we have to save the freedom of speech from any kind of YouTubers instead of standing as how the affirmative side of the house. But before that, I have some point of rebuttals, and before I tell you guys my rebuttals, I have some point that I have to clearly state it about how affirmative side of the house clearly close their eyes and they don't understand about how is actually YouTubers did and talking about the emotional things. First of all, the most important things they were talking about that YouTubers should create content that educate children. But it seems like they want to change the YouTube as a platform to educate children, but they forget that the viewers in YouTube is not only children, but also there's also adult from they're watching YouTube. They were also talking about the best YouTubers to educate people. For example, like Korea Romit, which is they were talking about the cases that can educate people. But just this kind of team forgot that Korea Romit also teach kids about a killer story and also about how a psychopath did their crime. Is that seem to you that Korea Romit can also educate their children, because it seems that they want a YouTubers that can educate people. And also talking about Korean Ramit is not a YouTuber that emphasize facts and statistics in his YouTube channels. Korean Ramit tell those kind of story is from his emotion. It seems that they don't even understand about the emotion, and they were talking about and stated that Korean Ramit is the best YouTubers to educate the children. This is first that they have to clearly state that before they moving further and make this debate as a blur debate, which is it is going a really wrong stated. And also moving to my point of my argument, they say that YouTube should be a platform where it should educate people. But as we know that YouTube has a slogan which is broadcast yourself. YouTube is a platform, is an app that already available since 2005, and YouTube allow everyone to create a video based on their self, based on what they want, and they have freedom to do those kind of things. And there's nothing wrong since 2005 until 2019. There's something that people say that YouTubers should create a content that emphasize facts and also statistics. Why those kind of things already known today? Why it happens not since 2005? Why? Because YouTube already being a platform where everyone can join it, where there's so many people being success from YouTube, and affirmative studies believe that is a things where they can make YouTubers educate people, while they only talking about it is should educated children, while the viewers from YouTube is not only the children but also adult people. And also talking about how YouTube has power to educate, but there's no further information how if they make YouTubers educate, how if they make YouTubers to change their content from a content which is from their heart, which is from what they want to do when they make a video, to a content where they believe that it is emphasized fact and also statistic, which is supporting their causes, and also they believe that it can educate children. But no one can guarantee when you make every YouTubers to change their content to based on the fact as how the government want to control those kind of YouTubers, it can educate the young children. Because of what? If you're talking about there's so many bad impact that our children get because of watching Atta Halilintar and Asoria Riches, they are closing their eyes too badly, because YouTubers is not only Atta Halilintar and Asoria Riches. Talking about the bad impact that their children get, it is based on how their parents can control their child, and also about the problem. It's the responsibility towards their parents, not the YouTubers itself, because broadcast yourself is a slogan that YouTubers make, and that's why people want to create a YouTube video in a platforms that call as a YouTube. And also, moving to my argument, I will characterize the types of YouTubers if we make them doing as how the government want to control the YouTube, as how they believe that their goal is to educate people, as how they believe that if the YouTubers can create a content that emphasize fact and also statistics, it can educate the people and stuff and save young generation instead of save the freedom of speech. But when we are not saving the freedom of speech from every YouTubers, do you think that your goals to save the young generation will happen? It will be useless if those YouTubers who are not saving their freedom of speech, they want to do as how you want. And also talking about the characteristics, there are two kind of characteristics that will happen if we make the YouTubers following as how the government want, which is to educate people. First of all, the character. First of all, is yes, the YouTubers want to do it, and also second of all, not the YouTubers that don't want to do it because of what? Because they have right to create any kind of video in YouTube, and the characterized that will goes to no because of what? Because they believe that they have right to create any kind of content that they want. Talking about the emotional contents, it seems like the affirmative Sauda's only definition the emotional content as a bad content, while we know that when YouTubers make an emotional content, they saying what is actually they feel from their heart, and it's not all and it's not always and it's not always showing a bad impact from a YouTubers when they make a video from their emotional. And also talking about the characters that will happen is when there's no more freedom of speech, freedom of their stuff, about what kind of video they want to make. The YouTubers doesn't want anymore to make the videos because they believe that because not every YouTuber has the same skills to educate people. Educate people and also educate young children is not that easy that you can make. It's not that easy as how you want to make the YouTubers to change their content from the emotional one towards as how the government want. And also what happens at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the goals from the government itself won't be success because of what? Because not every YouTuber has the same skill to educate young children. And also they don't even tell us what kind of educate that will happen if you make this kind of content. Do you think that when the YouTubers make educate content as how the government wants to control it, every children will be educated from it, while the one who have responsibility to educate the children is not the YouTubers. It's not because of YouTubers is a platform that they often to watch. And also talking about the impact, specifically impact towards the children, is the most important thing is 95% we believe that the children won't be educated if we make the YouTubers be controlled as how the government want. And also, the YouTubers will move to another platform because they believe that YouTube is not safe anymore. It's not a place where they can share whatever they want. And also, the goals from the affirmative studies won't be success because of that. Because to educate young children won't be success, and also to save young generation also won't be success. And that's why, as affirmative studies, we really disagree that progressive YouTubers and bloggers should create content that emphasize facts and statistics that supporting this cause rather than using their emotional in the create of content. That's why we believe that we really stand as the negative side from this motion. That's all from me, Akuzmakis.
The second speaker of the negative team spent 7 minutes and 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
I call upon the third speaker of the affirmative team, Miss Gina Sonia. The time is yours.
Test. So judges, the opposition team side of the house seems to really keep blaming on us without seeing that the YouTubers that can also give the bad impact for the future of the country. And also, the negative team side of the house, they the negative team side of the house believes that it is really hard to change the content for the YouTubers. Meanwhile, that the affirmative team side of the house believe that this is the urgency that we are want to solve it right now. That we have to care more that we have to care more nowadays. So I, as the third speaker of the affirmative team side of the house, I will give the clash points on this debate, and also the rebuttals that I caught from the negative team side of the house, and the conclusion of this debate. So the first conclusion is it important for bloggers and YouTubers to create content that emphasize facts and statistics, not only using rhetorics? So, judge, the negative team side of the house believes that the YouTube itself has the YouTube give the rights for the YouTuber to do what they want and to share the information that they want. But we, as the affirmative team side of the house, we believe that the rights also has set the another right that can give that the generation that also set the right that the generation also
has the right to get education well. So we believe that the right of the argument of their team by saying that the YouTubers also had the right to share the information of what they want. We believe that we have taken down that argument. So the second question point is about whether by creating contents that emphasize facts and statistics is good or not. So judge, the opposition team side of the house believe that it is hard to change the content that the YouTubers is great right now, but we believe that in here we want to we want to create we want to raising their awareness to create more educational content, to create more useful content by also bringing the facts and statistics, not only using the rhetorics. And we believe that the affirmative team side of the house should win this debate we have clearly explained about the we have clearly explained about the impacts itself, the impacts for now and also for the next is also for the young generation. How is it important for the young generation itself to educate, because they are the nation developer, and that's why we have to provide more them the more education, because they are the national developer of this nation. And also by my previous my second speaker has mentioned that the quality itself, the quality of the YouTube, we need the quality rather than the quantity itself. How is it important that the quality is it how is it and such as in YouTube media, but we believe that the freedom of speech has also regulated by the Constitution. Example, like even the hate speech, will the negative team side of the House let the hate speech content to be created? No, we as the affirmative team side of the House, we don't want that to be happen. And the third rebuttal is, and the third rebuttal is they said that we as the affirmative team side of the House, uh, we keep uh, we keep defining that emotional content is bad content, but we didn't neglect it. By my second speaker has stated that by saying about the quality itself, we care more about the quality. That's why we don't want that the generations of the nation can be destroyed later. Jumping on to my conclusion, so the first is why we believe that the emphasized facts and status should be explicit rather than just the theoretic things. It's because it is more beneficial for the society, especially for the young generation, and also the quality itself. And we believe that the affirmative team side of the House have explained more rational things. That's why you should vote for the affirmative team side of the House. Thank you.
The third speaker of the affirmative team spent 7 minutes and 24 seconds. 7 minutes and 24 seconds.
I call upon the third speaker of the negative team, Mr. Ari Takirana. The time is yours.
The urgency that the affirmative side of the House has bring up in this debate is that they are too afraid that those young children are watching too many emotional content or too many emotional YouTubers and bloggers. Well, actually, little that they know, that kind of urgency has already have a solutions. The YouTube authority or the YouTube corporation already have a solutions to solve that kind of urgency, which is the options to make that YouTube is especially for kids YouTube. So actually, I don't know what they are probleming about in this kind of debate because their urgency are no longer an urgency, but it's already a state of code that has already been solved by the corporations of the authority of that YouTube itself. So getting to my point of rebuttals is that they are too afraid that those young children are being fooled by this kind of YouTubers and bloggers. But little that they know that they are, the one who's being fooled is themselves because the one that have been said throughout this debate is this kind of emotional YouTubers have no, it didn't educate any young children. That YouTube right now have less education, or have even they said that YouTube right now doesn't have any educations. But they on this debate, the only YouTubers that they say that using facts and statistics is about Korea Roommate. Well, that has been rebutted by my second speaker that Korea Roommate isn't using facts and statistics, but it's using emotionals. So from that fact itself, and they didn't even said any other YouTubers that are using facts and statistics. They said about Atta Halilintar, that's about using emotionals. So the only YouTubers that they know are YouTubers that are using emotional content. So that means the one who doesn't actually watch the educational YouTubes are them, not. Stop. like I said before, there are already many educations on YouTube. But the fact that they didn't mention any single educational YouTube channels or bloggers, that means that the one who's being pulled by this kind of mindsets are themselves, not the young children. So getting to my second point of rebuttals is that they say that YouTubers have responsibility to educate people. Well, actually, if you think about it, everybody in this world have a responsibility to educate at least a single person in this world. But the problem is, YouTube is not a platform to educate. YouTube slogan is to broadcast yourself. So from that slogan itself, we already know that YouTube's purpose of YouTube's are a platform to express yourself, not to educate. So that's one thing that they have misleading throughout this debate and throughout their point of arguments. So getting to my third point of rebuttals is, no thanks. Getting to my third point of rebuttal is about, if you think about it, if you are young children, if you are under 18, under 9 years old, and you're watching YouTube that full with facts and statistics and all about those numbers and those statistics and etc., does that entertain you? Does that make you want to watch that kind of YouTube channels? No, of course not, right? You will search other things to entertain you. So even if they say that it will educate those young children, no, it will not, because those young children aren't watching those YouTubes because they are interested in those kind of channels, because that are full of facts and statistics that aren't able to be processed by those young children's mind. So getting to my next point of rebuttals is they say kids are way smarter. Kids are way smarter nowadays. Well, if kids are as smart as they say, then doesn't that mean that even if YouTubes are being full with educational YouTube channels, doesn't that mean if kids are smarter, then kids could find another way to entertain themselves? So kids won't watch those YouTubes anymore. So even if they say that YouTube are being educated, even if they want to make YouTubers and bloggers more educational, those young children that they are being urgent about, that they're being so urgent about, that they're being problematic in their point of arguments, won't be solved because those kids are smarter, just like they said. So getting to the last point of this debate, which is the purpose of YouTube itself. They said that the purpose of YouTube is to educate, while our side have stated that the purpose of YouTube is to broadcast or to express yourself. Why? Because YouTube, like I said before, YouTube slogans is to broadcast yourself. There's no, in that slogan, there's no mentioning about education. No. There's no mentioning about entertainment. No. It's about expressing. So whether you want, it's their own right to do or to express their own channels. So they have no right to limit their content to educate. If they want to educate, then sure, educate. If they want to express themselves with emotions, then do it. But right now in step go, YouTubers are more doing it in emotions, and that's what makes YouTube so famous as it is right now. So again, the purpose of YouTube is not to educate, so they have no right to make YouTubers educate their content educationals. And also, even they said, and I quote, YouTube's purpose isn't only to entertain them, but also to educate. Actually, that's already in state of go, because in YouTube, there are entertainment contents and educational contents. Entertainment content such as like PewDiePie and etc. Educational content such as like Adam's Ruins Anything, or My Goals and etc. There's already two types of contents in YouTube. So again, the urgent and the problem that they are being said and stated throughout these debates are no longer a problem. It's already being solved by the YouTube authority or the YouTube corporation itself. And again, throughout this debate, they are stating like those young children who are being pulled are the fault of the YouTube itself. Just take PewDiePie for example. PewDiePie have 100 million subscribers. So does that mean it's PewDiePie's responsibility to take care of all of those 100 million YouTubers, or the parents of the children who only have 4 children, maybe 3 children or 5 children? Of course, it's the parents, because it's easier for the parents to control them rather than PewDiePie to control 100 million subscriber. Because as you know, 100 million is equals to a country. So does that mean PewDiePie is now, instead of go a president of a country? No, PewDiePie is still a YouTuber, so PewDiePie has no responsibility whatsoever to control those young children who he doesn't even know is his subscribers. But those parents know that those young children are their kids, are their sons, their daughter, who are watching YouTube. So the one who need to control this is the parents, not the not the YouTubers or the bloggers itself. So, the conclusion of this debate is that these YouTubers and bloggers have a freedom of speech to do anything, to express themselves in their own content, and the responsibility to being and the urgency or the problem that they have been stated throughout these debates are no longer a problem, but in fact it's a state of go that are already being solved by the authority of the YouTube itself. Thank you.
The third speaker of the negative team spent 7 minutes and 24 seconds. 7 minutes and 24 seconds.
I call upon the reply speech of the negative team. Ms. Raihan Akia Putri, the time is yours.
Yes. Judge, as a 7-year-old children, would you probably open a YouTube videos that contains the condition of Kim Jong-un in North Korea, or the presidential between Hillary and also Donald Trump, or even the condition of Erdogan in Turkey, or also European Union organization condition, or even the federal right in United Nations? Would you probably open those kind of videos, or instead moving the videos of Baby Shark and also Tayo? That's what you should watch. So do you think if Casey Neistat and also PewDiePie change their content from making video based on their heart to a content that talking about the presidential between Hillary and also Donald Trump, about those kind of things that being happened in the United States of America 2 years ago? Would you probably Casey Neistat and PewDiePie can do it to that? No, right? That's how the affirmative side house want change the YouTubers towards those kind of things. Because of what? Because they believe that YouTube is only full of drama and also showing uneducated things. And today we're talking about YouTubers. We're talking about the content that making by YouTubers. As a supervisor, let me tell you guys what is going to happen between the affirmative side of the house and also the opposition side of the house. First of all, affirmative side of the house always have responsibility and also always have right to control where this debate when it goes. They have right. They have a change to make a definitions and also a limitation and also a mechanism and also etc. to make this debate clear. So thus they did their job clearly. Before that, let me tell you guys what they want. First of all, as how I've told you before, they want to make YouTube videos full of educated things, and they want to make the YouTubers make a videos that contains that can educate the children. It seems like the viewers of the YouTubers is only a young children that they forgot about the adults, and also they believe that is how Korean Ramit is the best YouTubers to educate people. While Korean Ramit also talking about how psychopath did their crime and also about the killer story, and they believe that it can educate your children. As a parent, I don't want to make my children to educate from those kind of video. That's how as stupid as a primitive house thinking about the YouTube video itself. And also talking about the mechanism that already made by the affirmative stardust, they were talking about they want to ban the YouTubers that having the bad impact toward their children because they believe that it can and they cannot educate their children. But whenever they make cases talking about Donald Trump, it also wouldn't reach their goals, which is educate your children. Do you think your children will probably still open YouTube if it's only talking about Donald Trump and also Erdogan's problem? If it's only talking about United Nations problems? No, right? And also they believe that they want to save the young generation based on the YouTube videos that contains educate channels. But we're talking about the freedom of speech. They believe that freedom of speech is not as important as how they want to save the young children. But whenever the YouTubers doesn't have any more freedom of speech, the YouTubers doesn't want to make any kind of videos, it means that your goals to educate your children already failed and it's not being sexist anymore. And also talking about And also talking about what is YouTube actually, as how the first speaker from the opposite side of the house already told you before, that broadcast yourself is a slogan from a YouTube. YouTube is a platform where you can show everything what you want, where you can create a video from your emotional. It doesn't mean that you cannot create educated video, but you also can create any kind of video that you want. Talking about is it can educate or not, emotional content is not only contains of a full of dramas video. It is also create of something that you can educate your children, because if you want to educate your children, it's not as easy as you want to change the content they already make by the YouTubers. And also talking about the YouTubers itself, the freedom of speech itself, all this time the YouTubers doing what they want because they believe that YouTubers is the best platform where they can share what they want. But when it changed to be as how affirmative side of the house, it wouldn't be as a platform that can show their talents anymore, and they will probably move to another platform. And that's why we believe that opposition side of the house really deserve to win this debate today, because they already tell us what we need to do. That's all from me. Please vote for opposition side of the house. Thank you.
The replay speaker of the negative team spent 4 minutes and 26 seconds. 4 minutes and 26 seconds.
I call upon the reply speech of the affirmative teams. Miss Galuh Cynthia Parabaswari, the time is yours.
It seems like the negative side of the house keeps saying that the right of the YouTube to express the feeling or the minds on the YouTubers itself is actually very important. But they didn't tell us why it is actually very important. And furthermore, the affirmative side of the house has brought out a more urgency or more important case, which is actually we need to limit this right of the YouTubers, because it is starting to hurt and also to give disadvantages towards the young generation of the viewers of the YouTube itself. And that is why we believe that their urgency from the negative side of the house, which is the rights of the YouTube to express, should not stand on their debate right now. And also, I will tell you some of the mistakes that the negative side of the house has brought to you. So I will just compare to you both of the teams' arguments that have debated right now. So first, the affirmative side of the house saying that by implementing this motion, it can give a lot of benefits towards the society. They are actually already described it very clearly by saying that a lot of YouTube users are actually such a young users, and they actually still have the irrational thinking, and it is actually very important for us to protect them, because we want them to be more educated, and that's why we want to implement this kind of motion. We want them to watch a lot of more educational content rather than just emotional content, something like that. And also, what have the negative side of the house has brought, which is the rights of the YouTube. They said that it is actually the right of the YouTube to express what they want, but it has been tackled down by the urgency that have been brought by the first speaker from the affirmative side of the house, by saying that the rights of the YouTube right now is actually endangering the young generation, and that is why the urgency should no longer stand, because it has been tackled down by the urgency from the affirmative side of the house, because the urgency from the affirmative side of the house is way more important than the urgency from the negative side of the house. And they also saying that by not violating the rights of YouTube, it also can motivate the young generation. For example, like if the kids want to watch Atau, they believe that the kid actually want to be as famous or as successful as Atau. But we believe that a 9-year-old cannot think like that. A 9-year-old still have irrational thinking. Though probably it will lead them to a more consumptive lifestyle. For example, like when they see Atau brought new things, then they will ask their mothers to buy the new things too, right? Because they're actually such a young kid who do not who are still thinking irrationally. And actually, the affirmative side of the house has tackled down that kind of argument by the second speaker of the affirmative side of the house. And also, the negative side of the house saying that the young generation is going to be saved by the kids system or the parental control system. but it has been tackled down by the third speaker from the affirmative side of the house, simply by saying that it is actually easy to access. It is actually easy to make another account, and it's actually, you don't need an account just to watch a YouTube videos, and that is actually the proof that when you are that is a real proof that this kind of system cannot save the young generation itself, and that is why we need to stand this motion. And also they keep blaming the Korea raw meat is actually not giving a real good impact toward the young generation, but they haven't even give us any kind of example of the emotional of the YouTubers that serve emotional content that actually give good impacts to it. It means that they're actually the same with the affirmative side of the house, even worse because they are lack of examples. And also, please vote for the affirmative side of the house because they're actually bringing you more urgency, more important urgency, which is to save the young generation. While the negative side of the house is trying to protect the right of the YouTube. And also, we believe that it is actually not that important because the affirmative side of the house urgency is way more important and need to be done as fast as possible. And with that, I close my case. Thank you.
The reply speaker of the affirmative team spent 4 minutes and 13 seconds. 4 minutes and 13 seconds.
Congratulations to all debaters and thank you to the adjudicators. I hereby close this round. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So the next agenda is we're gonna snap the picture together, which is the educators and the participants. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Paired